And welcome back to Berlin and the three fans cheering Vitality's name after the army of supporters yelling, "Let's go G2." Dredgeline already will find a target. Perkz is running for his life already. Vitality are invading into G2's jungle, but they will not overcommit, and there's no further follow-up.
And if you're watching ProView at home right now, you will notice that every single player on G2's side has wished their owner, Carlos or Ocelot, a very happy birthday.
And so have the fans in Berlin. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the final game here of Week 2. And Foxdrop, how would you approach what appears to be a pretty solo queue-esque team composition here from G2?
I think G2 are the epitome of solo queue-esque. I even think when I was watching MSI and their games against Fongwu Buffalo, to me, watching those games made me feel like this is what G2 plays like in scrim/solo queue. They were just the way they run around. They seem to be the team that has the most fun on the LEC. And I'm sure there's no coincidence there. They're also the best team in the LEC. That's the ticket. Just have fun.
Yeah.
It's just a game, guys. Enjoy yourself.
I swear on stage before every game, you will hear Jankos. If you're here at the studio, you'll hear Jankos yelling at the top of his lungs. I don't know what about, but he just is completely unchanged and having a great time.
And to be honest, for good reason, when he's playing on the best team in the world right now. Vitality going in for that early trade. Attila and Jactroll not going to be dying at level 1 thus far. It's an improvement from their previous game.
Oh man, it feels bad that that's actually true. But nevertheless, the Xayah and the Nautilus now coming into what is a very unique a 2v2 lane. Ender, you were talking about this. You said you've seen it on stream as well. So what is your expectations how this Pyke Yuumi should be, advancing over the next few levels?
Honestly, it's a duo that will really struggle early on. And as someone that likes to play some off-meta stuff in the bot lane like this, you'll notice that early levels, you're going to want to let the wave push underneath your tower. You're just going to be trying to farm. Think similar to top lane Pyke, where most early laning phases, you will struggle, you will fall behind in CS, but you try to get some levels underneath your belt, and then once you get a jungler down in the bottom lane, or you just leave bot lane entirely and roam around with the invisible Pyke plus Yuumi, the slow from Yuumi's Q as well, going to be undodgeable. It gives you a lot of options to snowball come, the later stages of early game towards mid game.
Right, and you only need to cast your mind back to when Wunder was playing that Pyke. Pretty much the exact same style, where you kind of just give up the early lane phase and then you play more towards the gank setup and for the roams. This time around though, Mikyx will be able to follow him and make their roams that much more potent.
Yeah, you also have an exhaust on Mikyx as well to make sure that no one can escape from this Pyke once he does get on towards you. And also a lot of tools to try and set up for big AoE from a Neeko as well. You have slows there too with the Glacial Augment on Cap. So this G2 composition is going to be very interesting because with just the press of a couple buttons, they will run at you so fast, close the gap, even without tons of, heavy CC pick tools, they will be able to catch you out.
Yeah, and they've got so much damage as well. So if any member of Vitality is caught out, which has been a problem they've been facing over the last 2 weeks, and will go down very quickly. Jiizuké gets a lot of very good damage onto that Neeko in the mid lane, uses that Time Winder very well, and Jankos is already setting himself up for a potential dive. Wunder escapes the gank up in the top lane, and now looking for the cocoon. There's a teleport coming in as well. Jactroll and Attila are already being targeted. That's a double root, but it's already a dead bird as Jankos will set up the first kill with the help of Caps. Do they fancy another shot? The minion wave is still here. Jankos and Caps have backed away.
Jiizuké on the way. That's a hook on towards the Elise, gonna go up into the air. There's a teleport too from Cabochard. The fight's unfolding.
Not done yet. Jankos is running away with a sliver of health. Jiizuké, he's about to go after him.
The Bone Skewer manages to
got him.
line, but Mikyx goes down. Vitality get that turned around, and this time around, G2 back away.
There was so much dedicated into that play right there, but crucially, Mowgli wasn't around. So advantage Vitality right there, having the Sejuani be able to have a bit of free time to farm up here, which is what you want if you're playing Sejuani, right? You want to get that level 6. Don't really want to look for these early plays.
Yeah, also there was this huge gap from when G2 got that first kill onto Attila. He actually respawned and TP'd back into that fight to pick up a kill.
All right, Perkz will be able to escape for now. Lands after a Ghost Water dive just as he's escaping Attila and Jactroll.
See this one again right here as well. Now this is the power of the Elise pick and why we're seeing it a lot in the LEC, because she's really, really good at these early game dives. Because what Elise can do is she draws tower aggro and then she just pops right up into the repel and drops it down. In this scenario right here, something takes tower aggro, but I don't know what it is because no one uses the repel and they just perfectly juggle it around. but they're here for so long that it allows Vitality the time to counter this play and pick up some kills of their own.
Yeah, Jiizuké also making that rotation back down there, and Attila, of course, able to get the root, double root there with the Nautilus passive as well to catch Mikyx in transition towards the rest of his team.
Okay, we saw Mickey dying on the Yuumi. Now, Caps will be the recipient of a gank here. Gets turned up in just a moment. Not going to happen. Parallel convergence comes up. That's the dive in the tower. The double root, though. Caps flashes for his life. Now Mowgli's in trouble. Jiizuké uses the ulti to get back out to safety and made it very, very close. Not done yet. That's a flash forward and the dash. Perkz is helping out, but being helped out by Jankos. And that's the double root. Jactroll and Attila doing a lot of work. Perkz is very low. He's got no death from below. And as he stepped out of vision, gets the health back.
Great job there from Attila and Jactroll to absorb the pressure, losing summoner spells in that exchange, but they stay alive, and still Mowgli is not playing for them. He's up towards this top side, looking to maybe catch out Wunder.
Well, let's find out if he can. Wunder's in so much trouble. Locks in Cabochard and Mowgli, and despite the eulogy of the Isles, it's simply not going to matter. Mater of the Mist will get some damage down. Wait, what is this? Mowgli forced to run for his life. The ghouls won't find him just yet. Cabochard,
he's dead.
He did? How did that happen? I didn't see the final tick. Now Jiizuké's in trouble. He's got no ultimate available. Blossom goes up, so does the repel. Caps doesn't find the kill, nor does Jankos, and they run for their lives.
That's what we were talking about with the dive from Elise and the repel, but I'm not really sure what to say right there. Mowgli took so much damage from Yorick's ghoul friend right there, and 2 hits from the minions just finished him off.
Managed to work. I didn't see the autos flying. By the way, just as I have a moment, I need to ask everybody that has a Twitter account to answer the following question. Will Europe see its first Yuumi win? Go vote right now at LOL Esports. She is 0-5, but now she's being piloted by G2.
And this started off really well by Wunder, trapping both Cabo and Mowgli in the cage, but look at the Maid on the Mist right here, or the... I don't even know what that looks like.
Why does he turn around, though? Like, what are you doing, buddy?
This is the thing, there's loads of these little minions knocking after him as well, and here it is, the 2 little laser beams, they're following him.
They're even hitting in the wall. He doesn't see him coming. Bam! Just gets ganked.
Absolutely blasted out of here.
Is that what Tilt is made of?
I think so, Trevor. I really do think so. Now, here Jiizuké gonna get the shield. Mowgli does dodge away from that fight in the bot lane.
Yes, it is. Vitality are not done yet. Just as I asked the question about will Yuumi win, Yuumi's in trouble. The kitty cat being helped out by Pyke actually steps out, steps in. You and me, Perkz, that's the plan. Perkz is taking Vitality in a run through his jungle and dive through the ghost waters. Mickey steps out, may be able to jump back in, and he does. Blast Cone will deliver it. Mickey goes down, and Perkz, by the way, spent so much time for every member of Vitality.
Yeah, and you know, as much fun as I feel like we're having with this game, it feels like G2 are actually sort of throwing it away. When you look at their composition, like, what scaling options do they have? They don't have a late game marksman. Your physical damage is mainly a Yorick, which doesn't output a ton in a team fight. It's more of a side lane threat. So if the game slows down, if they're not able to build up a large lead, I feel like Vitality are going to be able to come in and feel very comfortable in these mid-game fights.
And one of the criticisms I've had of Vitality watching them play so far in the summer split is their team cohesion has felt a little bit off, and this right here is the second 5-man play that Vitality have pulled off.
Check out the
G2.
top lane.
It's another one.
Gentlemen, we're not going to get much time to talk because it's just action aplenty. 6 kills already, another dive up top, and Foxtrot. We're heading on to this compositional talk, but it's Vitality in the lead.
Vitality are having a very, very good start here. Reminds me a little bit about the SK Gaming match that we saw yesterday. But how G2 in this early game, they're really throwing everything at the enemy team here. It's not like they're kind of slowing down by any means, but they are absorbing it very well, Vitality right now. They actually do have themselves a little bit of a gold lead, and as Ender was saying, they'll be happy with this, because as the game goes on, they have very good tools to win in that kind of 13-minute mark of the game.
Especially when you think 3 of the 4 kills that Vitality have secured, Cabochard's been involved in. He's secured 2. Working towards his first itemization right now. He's by far the best performing member on the Vitality squad this summer. And he's got a champion that can absolutely take over the next few stages of the game. Now, Mickey and Perkz will find themselves a prowling projectile. Not going to be able to go fishing for that Xayah. And Vitality have started off Drake.
Yeah, I like this here from Vitality. The more fights they can get, the better with this competition. Attila at level 6 as well. This should be good for Vitality if G2 commit in.
All right, let's see if the fight can happen, though. Vitality not going to find the opportunity. The Dragon was secured, so Vitality continue to pull ahead. They get the first neutral objective in that Dragon. And that's going to be very impactful for them if they're able to actually break away and try use some of that regen. It's still early on in the game, and there's not too many turret plates down.
I feel like that was a bit of a missed opportunity for Vitality to actually turn on G2 right there, because they have the ultimate from Sejuani available, and there's no teleport on Wunder. I think they may have been able to push that one down, but either way, they do secure themselves a Dragon. And of course, at this stage of the game, especially when you know you're going up against the best team in Europe, you don't want to throw it away with over-aggression.
Yeah, you don't want to give anything up here in Vitality. I think compositionally, very comfortable. They have the tools to split into a 1-3-1 later on, and especially if you can find a kill mid.
Wow, they can. That's going to be a pop blossom to buy some time. Cap stays alive a few seconds longer. He manages to find the route onto Mowgli. Goes golden, thanks to the stopwatch. Mowgli escapes by the skin of his teeth. Jiizuké needs to pick the right target, and he does, but he's not going to find it. The route just flashed away from Jiizuké. Doesn't even have mana. He can't escape. He couldn't use the ultimate. Didn't have the time. Jiizuké goes down, and that is just chasing the loss.
Oh, he tried so hard for it, but he knew he couldn't turn back with the ultimate. Perkz and Mikyx were on their own. While that happened, though, it's 2 turret plates picked up by Vitality in that bottom lane, so they're still gaining gold on the map, and because Jiizuké, it was just an execute, they're going to be fine with it.
Not too much lost right there. Mowgli obviously surviving with the aftershock as well.
Just barely.
Very, very close. And Jankos looking for perhaps another dive.
Oh, that was a fantastic cocoon locked inside the baby cage. That is about as beautiful as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Very simple, very clean.
Looking really good now, especially because I think once you approach the level 11 mark, this Yorick is going to be winning out very much in a side lane. Working on that Trinity Force as well. You do outscale this Jayce, I feel, unless he commits hard into like the Blade of the Ruined King, which he's not going for. It does limit some of Vitality's side lane options later on.
And one of the really scary things about Yorick, and one of the most underrated things about him as well, is just how good he is at taking towers down specifically. We'll take another look at this player against Caps in the mid lane here. Mowgli takes the initial tower aggro and gets the aftershock with that stun E hit and survives on just a sliver. Jiizuké here only has to wait for his E cooldown, but as Ender mentioned before, he cannot ult back towards his ghost because he's got other G2 members coming down, gets the execute. It looks a little bit ugly, but no kills go down.
Yeah, no kills go down, no gold given over. And I do have an update on that Twitter question. Now, Berlin, I'm going to need you to yell the answer when I ask the question, all right? So I'm going to try this. This is brave. Berlin, will Yuumi win the game? Give me a yes or a no. As the action's going on, that's a very clear yes. 70% of you guys at home said the same thing, and Wunder is now picking a fight with the help of Yuumi. Here she comes with a death from below. Delivered onto Cabochard. Mowgli as well.
And G2, just when it looks like they're having a bit of a rough early game, G2 do G2 things. They always find a way to just outplay the enemy team, picking up a few kills there.
Yeah, because no one's bot lane. They're just moving around and looking for the kills. He's not done just yet. Perkz will miss it, but he knocks him back.
So nicely done. Perkz flashes forward to get the blast cone. Gets knocked up by the Nautilus ultimate, and Spider Nautilus pulls himself to safety for now. The first tower of the game falls in favor of Vitality, and the Maiden in the Mist is picking a fight up top. Now Yuumi is in a little bit of trouble. Mikyx's going to jump into Perkz, and now Jactroll gets caught out. Jankos with a flash over the wall. Cocoon and a Venomous Bite will secure the kill. That's a repel up. Remember, spiders eat birds at some parts of the world, and definitely here in Europe. Jankos isn't done yet, though.
Yeah, they're looking for the hook onto Attila. They land the Cocoon.
And they get the kill as well. Are G2 done yet? They got the tower. Foxtrot, this is looking good for G2.
Oh man, G2 just picked up everything right there, and this is it. When G2 play Pyke in solo lanes, or even in duo bot lanes, they just permanently roam around the map. When you have that Yuumi, that extra firepower, Vitality.
Wow, they're going to be in so much trouble. Yes, that was a chrono break to keep Ekko alive a few seconds longer, but now the fight's not done. Wunder, he's decided to teleport in. You and me and Zoomies! Mikyx keeps Jankos alive, picks the right target at the right time, finds another cocoon, and Jankos will sink his fangs in for yet another.
The rest of Vitality are on their way. Jactroll does see Wunder. I don't think so.
This is the final chapter. Caps is going low. He's forced to run for his life. Cabochard can't get over the wall, but he's got the flash available. He's not going to chase, and G2 look finally to be done. done.
How long did that passage of play last for?
Is it even over? I don't know.
Now the answer is no, because Perkz finds the boat skewer. Did not have death from below, but I was expecting a further follow-up.
We need a break at some point here. That is ridiculous. That was generally like 3 minutes of extended action, and sadly for Vitality, most of it was in the favor of G2.
All right, on behalf of the LEC, I would like to offer a formal apology to anybody who wanted to breathe during this game. It has been very high intensity. I would like to try slow it down a little, despite the chance here in Berlin. Let's talk about these team compositions, as G2 has played the skirmish game, they played the pick game, and they've got the gold lead.
Yeah, I'm so glad you bring that up, Quickshot, because right now it's two very different styles. G2 do not have the late game insurance of having an AD carry, so they rely on just continually running towards Vitality and using their surprise pick tools with the invisibility of this Pyke. They need to continue to up the tempo for the next 10 minutes of the game, because we will reach a point when Attila hits 3 items that team fights are just not that feasible for this G2 composition.
But that's perfectly fine, because while all this was happening, while Vitality's been grouping up to try and match G2 and really get that lead in the early game, Wunder's already been sitting on his island. Not only did he take that that tower in the top lane with all the plates, he now has a it was a 2-level lead over Cabochard, but him having this lead is going to be really hard for Vitality to stop, with this Yorick permanently pushing down his lane.
Yeah, it's also a 1,500 gold lead for Wunder in that lane too. He's hit that level 11, as you mentioned, so the side lane is very much in favor for him. The question is, can G2, post the 30-minute mark, actually rely on him to build up enough of a lead in a side lane, or can they continue to play this pick style and fast forward this game?
Well, G2 seem committed to it, Ender. 16 minutes in, as I mentioned, 1,500 gold lead for G2. They've clawed back that small deficit they found themselves in. 4-1-2 for Jankos, 3-1-2 for Wunder. Both of them with their first big ticket items completed. The Runic Echoes, the Triforce. Caps has picked himself up a water pistol in that GLP 800. And we're still working towards some of those items. Wunder's got very good timing on that little baby cage, as every time Mowgli and Cabochard seem to step forward, he does delay them and land the skill shots.
It's a bit like when Wunder picked up that Pyke in the top lane. I kind of thought to myself, how good was he going to be on this champion? Because it is not a top lane champion traditionally, and it does have a lot of little nuances.
Well, we'll find out the end of that story in a moment. Pop Blossom goes up with a prowling projectile in the final chapters. Means Attila's going to get some light reading. Not yet, because he doesn't go back to the fountain. Mikyx goes so low. He goes down. Jactroll gets one back. That's the 6th of the game for Vitality. While that was going on, there was another skirmish in the river. Here comes Perkz and Jankos. They're trying to find another engage under the tower.
But they're not going to be able to find the pick spell right there. G2 going to have to back away, and Mikyx does fall down in that fight, so it is Vitality with the advantage.
And while all that was happening, Cabochard lost his flash in the top lane as well, still conceding the side lane. It's going to be a real problem now for Vitality to defend against this G2, specifically Wunder on the Yorick.
Now, I am happy that G2 is playing a very new comp, a different flavor, a different style. They're playing into a little bit of a chaotic type of game that Vitality is actually very comfortable with. But this is one of the more competitive games you've seen Vitality play. But bearing in mind last week, they had a good first 15 minutes, and they made bad decisions between 20 and 23 minutes that then cost them the game. So this next 5 minutes of gameplay, decision-making, positioning, lane assignments, that's what I'm looking at Vitality for.
Exactly. It's going to be so key here. We'll actually watch this as, Caps went really deep to try and find Attila right here. You see he gets the double pop on the Q as well for a lot of damage on towards Attila, who does have to kite back with his own ultimate. But because Mowgli is here, and the rest of G2 is trying to scrap with Jiizuké in the river, it gives a lot of room now for Vitality to turn and find that kill.
Yeah, Mikyx got a little bit over-aggressive there, trying to finish off Attila too. Gets caught with the root under the tower. Very easy to die when you are playing Yuumi, because you have like 3 base health, so you're pretty squishy. And Mikyx found that out right there.
Yeah, not meant to be, alone, really.
No.
Using that Yuumi as much as possible. On the Vitality side, Ghostblade picked up for Cabo. Proto Belt for Jiizuké, who's on your screen right now. He's going hunting for Perkz. In the dashboard, use that Proto Belt. Sidesteps the Bone Skewer to the Ooze in Berlin. And Rapid Fire Cannon as well as Essence Reaver for Attila. So scaling, itemization, developing.
Look at this.
That's one fouling projectile. That was an invisible Pyke. Chrono Break comes out, and now Jiizuké will be locked down, stunned up, dead from below. Perkz gets the kill.
Yeah, that's just the zero counterplay combo right there with Pyke. Yuumi, now Jankos on the prowl. He dodges from the ulti, and they're going to find Jactroll.
Oh man, Cocoon manages to connect. Jactroll gets pulled backwards. Another death from below.
2 kills for Perkz right there. If you had any wonders on whether Perkz could play Pyke, yes, he absolutely can. Another attack on Cab.
Oh, will he get away with his life? No! Cabochard puts the hammer down. Vitality get another.
3rd time, 4th time, 5th charm. Can't really remember which time it was, but finally they do gank Cabs and they actually kill him.
These teams just will not slow down. Attila gets caught, and he is deleted.
That's so much damage right there from Jankos' Elise. That's ridiculous.
I mean, it is terrifying. Got himself 1.5 items, rather, working towards another. Now Mowgli's in trouble.
That's a rip barrel too.
Do you know, every time I see a G2 member step forward, I just think they're going for the fights. 19 kills in 20 minutes, Foxtrot. This is madness.
Constantly going for the fight. I mean, you said it, right? You said at the beginning of this game, this looks like the most solo queue composition. And the way they're playing it, this feels like the most solo queue game. So the fact that they're constantly going forward and they don't seem to have any breaks. We saw a little bit of this from Fnatic in the last game about how they're always pushing forward and eventually wearing their opponents down, which really, for me, when G2 and Fnatic play next week, is going to be an absolute blast of a game.
No doubt about it. G2 versus Fnatic, the way it's looking right now, G2 will go undefeated into that game. And this was the POV, you know, from Perkz.
You can't see that prowling projectile from the Yuumi when the Pyke is in his invisibility. So the second that Jiizuké drops beneath the threshold, it is going to be a kill.
Also, keep your eyes on Perkz' reactions. This is the face of a killer, ladies and gentlemen. Emotions? Come on, Perkz, smile. I'm not even watching the game anymore. That was a smirk. I'll take the smirk.
His lips move.
He said something.
He's absolutely terrifying.
Maybe
emotionless.
Maybe he said smile. Maybe he's been programmed in such a way that he just says it. That's how emotions work with robots.
It is indeed. Of course, you can check out his preview if you want to. But for now, it's going to be another kill. It's Jankos that goes down. That's the second time he's dying. It's going to be a little bit of bounty gold going his way.
That's a teleport.
Also, Spooky Ghost as well. Mowgli's going to be in trouble. He will get caught out. Bone Skewer comes out. Death from below secures yet another kill. The 13th of the game for G2 Esports.
This game is getting absolutely out of control right now. We have 21 kills in 22 minutes of gameplay. And it's because both teams have such strong pick tools that, you know, G2 makes a play bot side, Vitality make a play in the mid lane. It's all over the place.
It absolutely is. Jactroll gets away with that dredge line. Attila throws down the ultimate as well. That could be problematic if G2 fancy a re-engage. And they do. That's a prowling projectile. Attila forced to flash. Oh my word, G2 are shooting fish in a barrel. Sorry, they're shooting bees in a nest right now because Vitality are falling out of the sky.
And they're snowballing it completely. Look, it's just that one kill onto the AD carry of Vitality, and all of a sudden, the inhibitor turret breaks. Jiizuké's still in that bottom lane. It's Jankos stopping him from recalling, and they just keep going forward.
Oh, Jactroll gets caught out once again by that dark procession. Wunder's connected so many of those abilities, and now Mowgli's being run down by the ghouls. The inhibitor's going to fall, and Cabochard steps forward. This might be trouble.
I know it's my job to talk about video games, but this game is leaving me a little speechless. I don't have a word to describe how G2 are playing. It's happening again.
I'm going to use the word beautiful as yet another kill. 5-1-7. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I ask you, who is the best Pyke in Europe? And why are 4 of the possible contenders on G2 Esports?
G2 just looking so good, trying to chase down Jiizuké, but this is what G2 do all the time, is once again using that invisible combination, trying to catch out Attila. Perkz is caught.
Let's take a look what happens. Yeah, Perkz stays alive for a few seconds longer, needs to get out of visibility if he can. Death from below, what's up, not going to happen just yet. Still survives. Unbelievable.
Perkz was not caught. Perkz was the bait, and Vitality took it hook, line, and sinker. Now it's just up to Jiizuké and Mowgli to try and hold on to the Nexus, but I don't think they can do it.
Oh, I don't think that they can. The Nexus turret is going to fall, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in Europe, Yuumi will win a game. G2 Esports are going to use this crazy composition to take down Vitality. 20 kills in 24 minutes. They're not done yet. There's 2 more possible. Death from below plus another auto from Cap, secures it. Caps finally goes down. Vitality get the 10th. The Nexus is being focused. And if I know G2, they're going to want to dive. The Minions are doing the work though, as Attila's trying to slow them down. The Nexus is going low. Cocoon will not find a target. G2 will look for the kills before they look for the win. That's 23. They've got one more to find. Just do it. G2, go for the fountain. Go for the kill. Didn't find the bone skewer, found the projectile. How much of this is bordering on the line of griefing? Finally, the Nexus will be focused, and G2 will face Fnatic next week.